Dirty dancing in the moonlight. Made this feeling that I'll never know.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
You went to the... Because Jessie J is sort of a poor man's Katy Perry.
Mm-hmm.
You went to the...
I went to the poor man's.
Source. You saw Miss Kitty herself.
I saw Ms. Perry.
Ms. Hudson.
Yeah, I did a very impromptu 24-hour trip to Vegas.
Love.
With a bunch of really fun gays and one
What a
Ms.
surprise.
Caroline. I know. Shocking.
Chunking.
Yeah,
You had a moment.
I had a moment. I did a quick 24, a tight 24.
You did a Twilight 24 in Vegas
Yeah.
at the Venetian.
That's the way to do it, honestly.
You should only be in Vegas 48 hours tops. 24 hours is like the sweet spot.
24
Anything
hours
over
is
48,
good. Mm-hmm.
You're sort of...
You are living in Vegas at that point.
Yeah.
If you stay over 48 hours, you become a resident of Vegas.
72 hours in Vegas, you are paying taxes in Vegas.
Mm-hmm. You've moved into a weird apartment. You have like several roommates. You may or may not have had Brace come by from from Gigolos and go down on you. Like you are a Vegas resident.
You live in
you
what's
chain
that town
smoke
outside of Vegas that everyone lives in?
Just Vegas.
Henderson. You're like
you're in Henderson.
You're living in a cul-de-sac in Henderson, just living life with no shade.
You have your favorite casinos that you go to every day, and you chain cigs, and you have a cup of coins.
You rattle them around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy for you though.
It was so fun.
Vegas can be a reset if you work it well.
Yeah, and I think I worked it, and it really felt like it was so jam-packed, and I was truly in like go with the flow vibes, and it was good.
Yeah.
I paid $42 for a pina colada.
Hell yeah. Did you?
My Starbucks cost $29 yesterday for 2 drinks and a egg sandwich. Vegas
a hangover.
Inflation is truly the most real it's ever been in Vegas.
Did Katy Perry sing "That's what you get for waking up in Vegas"?
Yeah, she did a real like riding high in April, shot down in May version of it.
I love "That's what you get." Shut up and put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, it was aggressive, but this was like it was a jaunty version. I do have to say, having seen Katy Perry twice now, once on her Witness tour and once...
You went to the Witness tour?
Yeah, I went for free.
All right, well, if you're going for
free...
you
know why? Because at friend of the pod, Johnny Smith's art opening at Eric Butterball, I met PJ, who works for...
Golden Voice.
Yeah, and we were talking about Katy Perry, and I was like... I just want to go to the Witness tour, but I can't bring myself to pay for it. And he was like, oh, I'll give you tickets. And then got me the next night. I called my friend Ryan and I was like, we're going to Katy Perry.
PJ is an iconic person.
Yeah. And
that's so cool.
It was cool. It was meant to be. And then this one was like, we all got tickets for like $70.
Damn.
And
meanwhile, like Chromatica Ball is like $2,000 a ticket or something.
Someone that was in our group had seen Chromatica Ball the night before or like flew in from New York or whatever.
Damn.
And he said that this was better than Chromatica. Like when I tell you the production value of this show was the most insane thing I've ever seen.
The most insane to this day, production wise, most insane concert was the Pink concert for me.
Yeah. This was like Pink times 20.
Damn. Yeah, I have to say, like, I can't fully bring myself to even seeing Katy for free.
But this is worth it. You can get discount tickets. I mean, she's on a break now until October. And I truly went in with very low expectations, having seen Witness, where she basically just ran frantically to and fro on the stage.
I love when she's out of breath, making, like, just orating to the crowd.
And she the thing is like I was like, she's really trying. Like, you know what I mean? She can't dance, so she just ran. And she ran and shout sang all those songs, and God bless her, she really tried. That I was like, she'll probably run.
like Florence.
Yeah, but Florence is like skipping and twirling. It's like a little more ethereal. Katie's full blown just like running and panting from side to side. That was the Witness tour.
See, that's what I do appreciate about Ms. Hudson is that she's sort of like
human.
She's like the Valerie Cherish of the pops of the divas, and I live for that. Like she's just constantly like, you're just constantly like, oh.
Yeah, and I expected to be like, with this, but I was truly shonked and spirited away to Katy Perry's Playland.
And you don't think it was with help from outside forces?
No, I mean, I was on quite a bit of mushrooms, but I'm telling you, her show was such like a sensory overload that I couldn't even tell that I was tripping.
Whoa.
Like it canceled out any sort of like hallucinatory or like trippy factor and just became like
reality.
It wasn't even like I was not experiencing psychedelia because it was such like a full on spectacle.
When did you take them right before?
Yeah, I took them like an hour before.
Were the lights cool in Vegas?
Yeah, well, we were at this restaurant called the Pepper Mill that's like just a lounge with like magenta, like fake flowers and magenta and blue lights. And Vegas is crazy too because you are not allowed to smoke outdoors, like at the pool. If you want to, someone goes,
to smoke.
Sorry, if you want to smoke, you need to go inside. And so we were like, okay, like you don't have to ask me twice.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I literally was like, well, don't mind if I do then. And like fully went truck driver. I was like, where the Camel Crush is at. I went full just like menthol cigs.
Yeah, I mean that's like I rip cigs when I'm in Vegas.
Yeah.
At the slots.
It was over. By the end of the night, my voice was like this.
Yeah, that's what happens. Like you just become.
I became a crush.
When I'm in Vegas, like going back to what we were talking about before, like I live life like I am a native of Vegas, like that I'm a resident and that this is my life, this is my reality. I don't know what time it is. I can't see outside. There are no windows. All I can smell are the like farty kind of like aromas that they're spraying and all the air vents coming through and just cig and air conditioning. That's all I am. I am a ghoul being slowly mummified by the cigarette smoke playing the Leprechaun casino game or Zeus.
Yeah, I didn't gamble at all. I'm not really like a gambling kind of gal, but I did smoke a ton of Camel Crushes. I drank like delicious sugary cocktail. Like I was like, if I'm gonna drink, I'm just gonna stick to what I like, which is like I'll have a little white wine, have a little espresso martini, have pina coladas hugely. And I was like, I don't care if I'm gonna ingest like 6,000 calories worth of drinks.
In Vegas, it's like
if I'm
live fast,
gonna
die
have
young.
Some booze, it's gonna go down easy.
There's
no reason to suffer.
No, I mean, do what you want to do. You're in hyperdrive when you're in Vegas.
Yeah,
you're just like nothing really counts.
No, but I will say, after the Katy Perry show, we decided we would go to New York, to go on the roller coaster.
The worst hotel.
I've never seen such a thing.
By the way,
it felt like I was in the streets of Friends.
But also, if you look up into the actual hotel, there's only like 2 lights on. Like, I don't think anyone actually stays there.
Why would they?
I know
it's just horrific.
It's horrific. It's a horrific hotel.
But that's where like all the kids were, which was crazy to walk around at like midnight and there's just little children. I was like, this is bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did this roller coaster, which was the beginning of the end for me because it was curtains halfway through the coaster after like 2 upside down turns and a jolt where my like brain hit my skull like several times. I literally halfway through, I was like screaming. I was like, "Wah!" And then it like came to like a little lull, and I go, I'm hungover. And then the coaster continued, and it truly thrust me into a hangover. We left New York. I was like, maybe I'll just Uber back to our hotel. Like, I don't know. But then there was a Hummer limo, and I can't say no to riding in a Hummer limo. So I just laid in the back seat, just like going like this while everyone else like was like partying. And then finally my friend Ryan goes, you need to turn on Summer Renaissance to bring her back. And they blasted Summer Renaissance. Work? I shot out of my seat and like fully danced, and then I was back. It bought me like 45 more minutes of being out.
I love that.
Yeah. But it was a really
next time you go
time.
I mean, I'd like to go to Vegas for my bachelor party.
We need to go to the Peppermill, smoking indoors and ordering plates of French fries and chicken fingers.
That's me.
But truly, smoking, literally, we were like smoking and like breathing smoke on the food and then eating the food.
It's amazing.
I was like, I'm in fucking heaven now.
I've only been to Vegas as a sober person because I went when I was 12 and then I went after I got sober, and I have so much fun when I'm there. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's a disgusting place, but it's heaven to me.
Yeah.
And they never have Red Bull, so I'm always drinking like
they had a lot of Red Bull. Someone drank like 6 Red Bull vodkas like later in the night.
Demi vibes.
Yeah.
But when we go, we have to go to Paris because I love the Paris.
You love Paris?
I love the casino so much.
Okay, I had a lot of really good ideas for Vegas. I was like feeling inspired, and I like need to get on the board somewhere because buy
a house there.
No.
We should do a show in Vegas.
Well, yeah.
I like that is just such a on my bucket list.
There's literal like randoms with puppets that do shows in Vegas that you and I have never heard of, and they're probably just bringing home the bacon with their little puppet. There's like a man who's like Piff the Magic Dragon who has like a Pomeranian and had like a huge billboard, and he's performed. I was like, okay, we're like Sexy Unique podcast could easily fit in here.
We could do a residency at Planet Hollywood. You just see me.
The roof of Planet Hollywood caved in because it rained so much.
I know. Oh my God. Speaking of, did you see that thing about the mega flood that they're expecting LA to have?
I'm like, bring it on. Aren't we glad? Like what? Let's be happy for that. Don't we need the water? We're in a drought, doll. I'm like, get your sandbags and batten down the hatches.
But
they think there's going to be a biblical level flood.
Basically.
What does that mean?
Like
landslides?
No, there's like global warming is supposed to like bring like atmospheric rivers that have happened before here, and it'll just like be like a month of rain.
Hell yeah.
But it's going to like destroy the city.
Like how though?
Because it'll be bad. Anyway, that was a detour, but
but I need to know about this.
We can canoe. You need to know about this?
Well, like what? It's rained here for a month before.
No. I'll send you. It's being taught. Like I was just listening on NPR about it.
It was a CNN thing, right?
No, it was like I just listened to it on NPR. They just like they think that it could be. Am I loving it?
No, they're loving it.
They're loving it on NPR.
The news is like, what can we share?
It's interesting. It seems. They said it's like would be more catastrophic than the big one.
They wish.
they wish they had what the big one
has. They fucking wish, the haters. Like, I'm sorry, can nothing be good? Can we just look at the positive? I'm ready for just delusional positivity spins on everything.
But that's how I feel when I'm in Vegas. I feel immortal there. I feel like I don't like. Last time I was there, I didn't have a mask. I was just breathing in the smoke air. I was breathing on, and I was just like, I love this.
Yeah, I saw like one mask the entire time. I was like, it's good to be here with all these sick fucks.
But you're a sick fuck too when you're there, and that's the best part of it. And
I love it.
I love it. I saw Gaga there. I just think it's like we have to do.
I'd go to more Vegas shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all in all,
good for you.
Kind of fair to remember. Yeah.
I need to talk about the Anarchists. So the finale was last night. Feels like it's been on forever.
Yeah. I feel like I've never known a life without the Anarchists in it.
I've never known a life without. By the way, I love that they refer to the hotel where they have the conference as the Pyramid. I'm like, That made me cringe so hard.
It's terrible. I'm having like the Shining effect. Like I'm Jack Nicholson and Acapulco is the Overlook Hotel. And I somehow feel like I've known about the Anarchists my entire life, but even prior to my very existence.
We're going to go on the website and look through like past anarcho conferences, and you're going to be like,
yeah,
the big group picture of the whole conference, and you're in the center of it looking up at the camera.
It really went down such a dark path.
But I think a little hopeful with Lily.
Okay.
Okay, I think Lily ended up being kind of the realest bitch of the crew in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
I think she got out. I think she was sort of Svengali'd by that guy, John Galt.
Yeah.
And I think I wouldn't want to be her friend, but I thought at the end she was actually just the truest anarchist of the whole crew. And I like that she went to the conference and warned everyone.
Her TED Talk was incredible.
Well, and it was like it wasn't what they wanted to hear, because like they're doing like Tantra and like Berwick, the Berwick method, which is just going, woo! But she's on stage.
Just bringing all your dogs with you to a conference, which I was like, work.
He darked me out. I mean,
he's the worst, but he does have a pug, and so that buys him a little bit of goodwill.
When he got punched in the face, I was like, this is rock bottom. And when the guy went like this, the picture of that weird tall man with dreadlocks going like this.
His one little chin dreadlock.
Like a pharaoh. He went like this.
When you get assaulted by a chin dreadlock elven man, and then your reaction,
and you get your ass
beat on camera, and then you like go to a bar and are loving it. I'm like, you've reached the end of the line. But Berwick's that's just another day in the life of Berwick.
But the Nathan Freeman, that was truly, I was like, they did not need to show that.
Okay, I need a moment to just like to speak to the horrors of addiction and alcoholism, which have been front and center over the past week. First with Anne Heche, R.I.P. to a true queen. That is
horrific,
so horrific and tragic. Like,
but it was
don't even get me started.
No,
but
you were very.
I was harrowed by that.
You were very harrowed.
I was in literally a state of shock when I saw truly the most shoncking video of all time, which was the Nest Cam footage of her
horrifying
hurtling down the street. I laughed until I cried.
You guffawed,
but like I truly then was just crying, and I was like, "This is horrible."
I think your like Al-Anon fight or flight was triggered by that, which I totally get and I understand it. And what we talked about, like off the record, like I was like, I understand what you were saying, why you were so triggered.
Yeah.
I was triggered too. It was really, I'm sad.
Yeah, it's sad.
Disturbing.
But then that followed by a full blown, like I didn't realize, I think we said this early on too. We were like, I think Nathan Freeman passed away because he's like not being interviewed anymore. And so I was like, oh, did crazy Paul get him or what happened? And then it was worse than I could have ever imagined.
Nathan Freeman, who we kind of start off with him and his wife bringing their kids down. They're sort of
original.
Like, yeah, they were like the OGs of the conference.
Mm-hmm.
They started it. Nathan Freeman was sort of ousted by that woman that used to work with
Jill
Biden, which is so weird.
Unclear.
And he just basically drank himself into stage 5 cirrhosis and died a horrible liver failure death and turned completely yellow. And I've never seen anything like it. And they showed it all. It really made me nauseous.
Yeah.
Like he looked like Homer Simpson.
I literally immediately Googled because it just showed his hand at first when she was gripping his like dead yellow hand.
Well, and I thought it was like, a glove.
No, and I was like, is that his skin? And then I was like, can cirrhosis make you turn yellow? And Google was like, it sure can. And then it literally showed him
I know.
Homer-fied, and it was just, it's so sad. But I had a feeling, I was like, he sure is drinking a lot out of that little flask. And
yeah, they kept showing it.
But
it just showed you like this community and the kind of fraught beliefs, sort of like you can't really escape capitalism. It just like, and
well,
like
they're not anarchists.
no, that's
truly.
what I'm saying. I think it showed that like he had this sort of like idealistic like we're gonna go and then he just got like sucked in and spit out by this like weird machine that he kind of started.
I wish I could go back in time and tell him,
don't.
Just like, you're gonna be really into conferences and you need to like divorce yourself from your love of conferences.
Like go to him in college.
Yeah, and just be like, you're not gonna believe this now, but the moment will come where you get so obsessed with a conference that like it destroys you. Physically. And you really need to like just avoid conferences.
Do not move to Acapulco, and do not name your daughter Irabella.
I just am like, what? The fact that they considered themselves to be anarchists only to move somewhere and create a conference, which is the most like anti-anarchist move of all time. Yeah. Like conferences are like literally not for anarchists.
No, they were full of shit, and I think that's why
they didn't want to pay taxes.
But that's why I appreciated Lily's little TED talk at the end that was so uncharismatic and like the antithesis of like magnetism. But she was right. She was like,
that's true. Anarchist behavior is giving a really alienating TED talk.
She is,
without like making any eye contact and just being like, so you might think that this is cool, but it's not, and like you could definitely die.
But I was like, she's right. And she was like, if you're truly going to live stateless or live like a stateless, your loss of life is possible. And like, I'm proof of that. And it's like, it's shitty. And everyone was kind of like, because they're all crypto capital. Like it's absurd.
They're when's Berwick gonna rap?
Yeah, truly. They're like, when are we going to go to the ballroom and do like a rap? Freevert. Anyway, it was a crazy show and it was very sad, and I think I'm also very I have like a big question mark over the producers of that. I think they were like, they got a little too close.
Thank God that Lily finally took those dreadlocks out. My God, I almost puked when I was seeing like all the brushing. I was very triggered. As someone that gets like pancake dreadlocks on the regular, if I don't keep a brush on my undercarriage, like I didn't even know that you could brush them out. I thought you would just have to cut them off completely.
I like that she ends up with like the Mexican gay vampire Lestat.
He's gay.
He's a total flaming gay man. But I love that for her. Mm-hmm. And I like when her dad comes. That was cute when her dad came and she goes, "This is my boyfriend. He treats me really well." I was like, I'm sure he does because he's gay.
If it takes a gay man to get her to comb those dreadlocks out, then blessings.
He was like, we got to take care of this.
He was like, honey, please, you got to get that hair sorted out.
Anyway, great show.
Her hair seemed like it was in good shape afterwards. I was like, how is that humanly possible?
I don't know. I think she just stopped doing meth.
I don't think it talks enough about how drug addiction and alcoholism is like a hugely motivating factor in wanting to be an anarchist. Like, I believe fully in my heart of hearts that many of those people just conflate like anarchy with alcoholism, where it's like, oh, we're anarchists, so like we can drink and do drugs and no one judges us because like we're stateless and just do our own thing. We're sovereign.
Be careful, bro.
But I'm like, you're literally just doing this so you can like freely booze without judgment
at like 11 in the morning.
Yeah, but I'm like, that's not positive or healthy.
No. Be
I
careful
felt
what
so
you say.
bad for Freeman's kids.
I know. I love when the girl was like,
why the fuck didn't he stop drinking?
That was very like in Mommy Dearest when she goes, Jesus Christ.
I was just like, this sucks. This sucks.
I like that the wife was like, I'm so angry at him.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
I love telling him that on his deathbed. Being like, you can die, but I am so angry at you.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough.
I want to punch him in the face, she said.
Anyways.
What was the other thing on the docket? I felt like there was some good juicy. What was the secular Puritanism?
Oh, we can talk about that on the bonus. Okay. Millie Bobby Brown
disclosed. This is like the summer of Gen Z celebrities talking about how hard they've had it.
Mm-hmm.
And she disclosed that when she was 10 years old, a casting director drove her to tears, telling her she was too mature.
Girl.
I was like...
After a powerful casting director rejected her for being, quote, too mature. Before she got the role of a lifetime as Eleven on Netflix Stranger Things, Brown said the casting director advised her that she'd never make it as an actor because of her maturity.
She was 10!
I always knew that I was mature and I couldn't really help that, Brown said. She's truly the definition of like an old soul, a self-described old soul.
I'm only friends with adults. I'm like... This is the hardest thing that's ever happened to you because you're literally 18.
Yeah, it's fine. Girl, it all worked out.
Anyway, I just thought that was funny.
Oh my God. Millie. Yeah, this was like and then her next audition was for Stranger Things and she got it.
Now she's making $1 million an episode.
Yeah, she's good.
But everyone just has to have like some kind of trauma.
These young kids, yeah, it's trauma mongering, but they don't actually have like, I mean, I'm sure in the scope of her world that was traumatic for her.
Definitely.
But
it just sounds funny.
In the Victim Olympics, that's not going to get you a gold, silver, or bronze medal. You're not even going to place in the top 10. Try harder, Ms. Brown.
I've just been loving like Sydney Sweeney, Jacob Elordi, and her just being like, the casting director told me I was too hot for this industry and I would never work. I was like, okay.
I know. It really is like, you're going to have to do a lot better than that.
my casting director told me my big naturals were too luscious.
Were too gorgeous. And I would never make it with these huge naturals.
And Jacob already, I was told that I was too fucking hot. It's like, oh my God.
I wanted to be in a Midsummer Night's Dream and someone said, you're gay.
And I went, oh. But
it's also, I think it's just people that have also been, this is like what they've known their entire lives.
No, I love it. I mean, I want more of it. It tickles me to no end. Like today I saw Mindy Kaling was like, asked about why she cast Deacon Philippi in her new show or her Netflix show. Mm-hmm. And she was like, really? It was just Reese told me that he had expressed interest once in acting and I thought he'd be perfect. So now he has like a recurring main part on the show.
And that's how it goes.
And I went, tell as old as time.
Honestly, though, you just do need to have a famous mother and then tell someone in your family like you would love to just act.
Well, I love it. Wasn't even he has like a passion for it. He's just expressed interest. Yeah.
Same.
No, I love it. I'm like, that's just keeping it real.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of keeping it real.
Yeah, let's get down.
I'm Carey.
I'm Lara.
And you're listening to
Sexy Unique Podcast.
Jersey Shore, bitch. Do 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 do. I'm hyper from the caffeine.
I'm so over caffeinated. I reached a point of like shaking before you came over, and I was like, I can't do this to myself. I was shaking.
Hear that meme of the mannequin? Dude. Have you ever seen that one where the mannequin has a bob wig on and then someone's shaking it, and you just hear like do 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 do.
That was me.
Angelina's days are numbered.
Praise be. Honestly, she is such a bad vibe.
She's truly a like the definition of an energy vampire.
She's a roving cloud. She's a roving just like dark cloud over everyone's day.
I cannot get over her flats. I am so...
She's doing a flats and capri, like clam diggers and flats and an off the shoulder shirt. But like that, the look where you do like a really bright colored shirt and then like a black pant and a black flat is so like, it's like corporate dressing to me.
They wake up, it's the day after.
It's another beautiful day at the Shore House.
They're all in the kitchen and Ronnie tells JWoww that she made out with Pauly. And she immediately goes into a place of denial.
I love, she goes, I don't know if I did that. She's like, I definitely didn't make out with him or anything. I had to come home before that happened. And she smash cut to the flashback of her making out with him but putting her hand up so no one would see it.
And Ronnie goes, I mean, you made out with Pauly. And she goes, I would have remembered that. And then Pauly goes, yeah, you did.
Okay, so someone directed my attention to like a Reddit AMA where one of the producers of Jersey Shore did like during the pandemic was like, ask me anything. And she said that they never showed this, but apparently Situation and JWoww had sex in season 1.
Whoa.
I know. Get it, Jenny.
Damn.
Good for her. Keep it on the down low.
Also, Ronnie I just saw as a year sober.
Good for him.
Yeah.
He needed that.
Hopefully he can clear out a lot of other things.
Sam, Sitch, and Ron go into work. And Sitch is still reeling from being rejected by the sweetest bitch you'll ever meet.
Mm-hmm.
And he's...
Well, first of all, Pauly, back to the JWoww, he goes, I just think Jenny doesn't want to seem like a trash bag. I'm like, God. I have to say, Pauly's like maybe the meanest one of everyone. Or Vinny. But I think Pauly's like cruel.
Like in his judgment?
Yeah. I think he's like really, like, I've watched this, now watching the second
You're a
time.
scholar.
I'm just
scholar
kind of like,
of the Shore.
Yeah, I think Pauly's like a real bitch.
The producer said that Paul was the one who stayed the most to himself. Like he was the most private person of the whole cast. Like he would film and do whatever and like
They go off on his own.
But then it was just like he was not like gonna really talk to people in between and like kept like a very like firm boundary in between his like private life and his life on the show.
Because he's old.
Yeah, but Sitch is old.
Well, Sitch is
and he had no
on
boundaries.
drugs. Yeah, so they go to the t-shirt shop, the gruesome threesome.
And Mike is still kind of trying to like flirt with Sammy and they're standing around and she's like, yeah, I mean like I don't know, like I like you. And he kind of perks up and she goes, no, not like that. And
she's fucking with him.
Yeah, she's truly torturing him now.
She's like, I mean, I get it. You like me. It's fine. And he goes, no, I mean, I wouldn't say that. And she's like, no, it's okay.
Poor Sitch.
Slinky deep throats a pickle.
I forgot about her love for pickles. Same.
She takes the pickle, puts it all the way in her mouth and sucks the juices out and then eats the rest.
Yum.
Everyone loves her.
She's wearing a hat that says porn star in training.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, pickles is my thing.
Pickles is my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Vinny goes, I like Snooki. She's funny.
Everyone's coming around on Queen Snooki. Sammy and Ronnie are flirting.
Ronnie just talks so much shit about Mike.
He goes, it's destroying him. Like, look at him. He's fucking destroyed out there. And like Mike's just walking around, like looking into space. I love like Sam and Ronnie like hanging all over each other. And she goes, Ronnie, you always take care of me. I was like, it's been 4 days.
Yeah, they
love like a declarative statement 4 days into knowing a person.
What's that like dual madness called? Like
Folie à deux.
Folie à deux. They're a little folie à deux already.
They are brainworms for each other.
Yeah.
They immediately bring out the worst in each other.
And
like it's not even a 24-hour turnaround before they're acting foolish.
They go deep into hetero hell, like lightning fast.
Oh, without a doubt.
I mean, we'll get to it, but the mini golf of it all, like I was literally like Vicky Gummelson going.
Having a man escort you to mini golf while he wears a fedora is truly...
It's bad.
I'd rather die.
She needed to be 5150.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather get thrown from a horse.
Ronnie comes home and he like, I forgot this. Apparently him and he's like, JWoww's my girl in the house. I was like, when did this happen?
Okay, wait. Let me check this Reddit thing because it could have been Ron and JWoww who hooked up. I don't want to misspeak. I don't want to spread fucking rumors. Okay, I'm reading the Reddit now. This producer says that Angelina was the worst one by far. Like, just like the worst to have to deal with, which is very obvious. I think she just sucks. It's not even like defiance. It's just truly she sucks. Yeah.
I bet Mike and JWoww.
Jenny and Mike hooking up during season 1. Yeah, okay. So she fully confirmed by this producer on Reddit. God strike me down now for that sentence. But
why?
Jenny and Mike hooked up and we didn't see it, but I love that and just proves that she is the hottest bitch ever.
Ronnie's like, Jenny's my girl, and I come to her with all my problems. I'm like, okay, what? Since when?
I kind of like that.
I know, but I was like, since when?
So they literally they're 4 days in, and they are like me in Vegas, acting like I've been there. They are me with the Anarchists.
That's just what happens down at the shore. I do love Jenny's deadpan advice, and I would love to like tell her about my problems.
I was thinking about you in that moment, like her face of like listening and like reacting, how much you would love to be Ron in that situation.
I would just come to her and she'd be like, well, you really got to do something about that.
No, you got to do it. And you'd be like, I know. JWoww's boyfriend, Tommy, is coming to visit that day.
She looked so good sitting outside in her like bikini top, just waiting and like the weird magic hour light of the Jersey Shore.
Tommy and his friend arrive, and I was like, now this is a situation.
She's worried about Tommy finding out about Pauly. Tommy's cute. He's a chin strap.
He's cute. He's very Guido. How old, too? She's young, right?
Yeah.
She's like 24.
But then the guy she ends up with, Roger, is like...
Roger is a flop.
Tommy was better than Roger.
Yeah.
And Angelina's friends Alana and Elena come, and they literally they're Marge Simpson's sisters who smoke. I kept thinking about them. They're literally the same person.
They are the exact same person.
They come down from Staten Island for the night.
Angelina talking to her boyfriend on the duck phone, like rolling her eyes and like shiftily looking from side to side. She's so that person.
Yeah.
Like that type of personality kills me when you're like talking and you're just like you are acting like grossed out by the person that you're talking to, but you also like love it. But
she wants people to ask her, like she's trying to get attention constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, what do you got going on tonight? And he goes, Ange, I've got nothing going on tonight. And I'm like, God, he must hate her.
I know, because the plan for the night is like that he would come meet up with her. So she's going, so what are you doing tonight? He's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I think he drives down just to be like,
we're done
because you make me crazy because you're just the worst vibe.
She goes, so go to Headliners without me. And he goes, okay, well, what time are you going to go there? And she goes, 10:30. And I was like, why are you doing this? Just answer it.
Alana and Elena are like, that's so awkward.
It's crazy. I love everyone getting ready and Vinny putting on a vest and a tie. And he goes, I'm looking to have more of a classy night tonight at Headliners. I like that. I like the hierarchy of
the
clubs. Headliners is classier than Karma.
Karma and Bamboo.
That's where you go to just like get messy and black out.
And fight.
And yeah, you fight in like the common outdoor area with like the little patio tables and stuff.
I love that they all call each other like the kid. Where is the kid?
You got to break up with that kid.
Yeah, so Angelina at the club is like holding her drink. She's doing that thing like this. She's looking around. She's like
standing at the bar, looking around,
waiting for her boyfriend. He comes in and he's basically like, I can't deal with this anymore.
He's like, I hate you.
You terrorize me daily, constantly, all day. You call me and I can't take it anymore and we're done.
He goes, as of now, I'm done. And Angelina goes, I've been done for the past couple weeks. I was like, you're shitty for that.
Yeah.
And no, you haven't. Snooki sees her friend Mike. She goes, that's when I see my friend Mike. And we have hooked up before. So I'm just going to grab him and I'm going to get my fix.
Well, first she goes, I feel someone grab my ass, and I turn around and it's my friend Mike. And then you see her talking to him and she goes, I'm so excited. I'm like, oh my. So she gets like sexually harassed and then she turns around and is like, oh, it's my friend Mike.
It's my friend Mike. So now I can get my fix. Snooki just wants to get dick down.
Well, I forgot that this whole season she's on a quest to get
smashed,
stretched open.
We find out that Angelina's boyfriend is in fact married.
Well, first, they get back to the house and they're laying in bed and it's like one of those scary over the like ceiling camera footage. And he's like, if you have done anything to me against me, consider us done. And then JWoww gives the most like
guilty response,
manipulative guilt response. And she was like, wow, you would think that a girl who loves you wouldn't give her a chance regardless of what she's done. Cool. And I'm like,
she was, so you're telling me like, even if we were like so in love and like having the best time and really there for each other, that if you found out that I did something, you'd still break up with me? And he's like, yeah. And she goes, and like turns over, he goes, why are you getting mad? And she goes, I'm not mad. And then like turns her back. And I was like, this is like, tell me you've cheated on me without telling me you've cheated on me. Yeah, Angelina's married boyfriend then won't stop calling the house and calling Elena and Alana.
Yeah, he calls Ronnie. Ron's like, Angelina, come. He said, get to the phone right now.
He said, get the fuck on the phone. She loves it. She loves not answering and being like, I'm done. I'm just done.
I'm done.
I'm done with the kid.
Well, yeah, we find out he's fucking still married. He's getting a divorce. Like, it's the worst situation you can be in.
Yeah. Imagine divorcing a guy and then realizing he's been seeing Angelina.
I would.
That's like the one person I just like would not want my ex to be with.
Yeah, I'd be like anyone else.
Literally any single person in the world.
Imagine if your stepmother was Angelina.
No, I won't.
I'd
won't
change my
imagine
identity.
that. Yeah.
If my partner left me for someone like Angelina.
I'd emancipate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the next morning, Angelina's supposed to go to work, and she just sits on the couch in her little off-the-shoulder, her look, and she keeps going. She's fake coughing.
Fake coughs are too much for me.
Vinny goes into work, and they're like, where's Angelina? And he's like, I don't know. She's not coming in today. He's like, well, we're going to have a really busy day, so buck up. And Vinny's like, I'm ready. Vinny loves to work.
He's a worker at heart, and I love that about him. I also love that it's not like she's in bed or just like laying around. Like she got ready for work and then just sat in a chair staring forward and then was like, I guess I'll just fake cough and be sick, quote unquote.
She sat on that horrible couch. She had her hair fully like blow
and just
dried.
sat like was like this.
She's saying like that, and they're all and everyone's like Sam, like they're all like staring at her. At this point, everyone's like, get the fuck out.
Everyone hates her. No one will give her the time of day. Which for a person like that, if you're not getting attention, you suddenly get worse and worse. It's not like that makes someone recalibrate and then be like, oh, I'm really like alienating everyone. It's like you then go into just silent mode and everything you do is motivated by trying to get someone to ask you what's wrong. So you would literally walk into a room full of people and just sit silently and stare, waiting for someone to be like, what's going on?
And cough.
And be like,
well, that's why she leaves.
No, yeah.
And everyone,
one calls, like, not a single person, like, calls her bluff. So then she eventually just realizes she has to leave.
Well, Well, that's the thing that I love about this crew.
You have to do.
This crew is the wrong people. They're the wrong group to do that with, because they're all like pretty savvy with like people having bad energy, and they will not give you that.
So finally, Angelina realizes she's not getting any sympathy from like her friends in the house. So she like trudges over. She puts a little hoodie over, zips it up over her little off the shoulder top, and goes and walks into work to go rain horrors upon the t-shirt store.
The guy goes, "Hey, what's up?" And she's like, "Yeah."
She goes, he goes, "What time zone are you in?" She goes, "What?" He goes, "What time zone are you in? You're really late."
And she goes, yeah, I know, I'm sick. And he goes, "Did you go out last night?" And she goes, "Well, yeah." And he goes,
"Yeah, of course."
"So you're hungover?" And she goes, "No, I swear, I've only had 2 drinks last night."
She goes, "No, are you getting it? I'm sick."
My favorite quote is when she goes, "Honestly, when you're sick, it's hard."
She's me when I worked at like the Producers Guild and would come into work so hungover, and I'd have to run out of the office to go vomit, and then I'd come back and be like, "I'm just so sick. I have like the flu or something."
That's me when I worked at Logo. I would come in like literally still rolling or on coke.
Dragon breath.
Just disgusting.
Bloodshot eyes.
Bloodshot coke
broken
breath.
Capillaries like all over my face. Like flushed red from the booze runoff pouring through my veins.
Just like beer and penny breath from all the drugs I was doing. And
smoke lingering around me.
And then I'd go on and log into my little thing and start writing blogs about like some eating out some gay movie that no one's watching. And my boss, who was like this gay that hated me, and they basically sat me down and were like, "You're fired because you show up 20 to 30 minutes late most days." And I was like, I was a little like Angelina. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I got fired from Producers Guild too, because I would just go in my office and they'd be like, "Please call all these people and like please ask them if they'll sponsor our like event." And I'd be like, "Cool, I'll do that," and then not call anyone and just go on the internet, and then sometimes just quick walk out of the office to the bathroom to puke my brains out, and then come out and be like,
with a broken blood vessel.
Yeah, be like, "I don't know what's happening. I think it's like a 24-hour flu." They're like, "We literally saw you like getting shit-faced last night." I'm like, "What? When it's sick, it's hard."
I felt like a little bit like when this was like beginning of my rock bottom, and I just remember getting fired, and my friend was like the deputy editor, and he was like always trying to like be nice and cover for me. And he like sat down with the main guy, and when they fired me, and I could tell that he was like, "I don't want to do this, but like you've given us no choice."
Mm-hmm.
So I felt really guilty. And then when I walked out, I was in the middle of Times Square, and I walked out and I called my mom, and I like leaned again and I went, "I got fired." And she was like, "Oh, are you upset about it?" And I was like, "Yeah." But I was not. But I was like, I guess I should be upset about this.
You wanted to like you got a little Angelina.
I did get a little.
You went full Angelina mode. I got fired and I was like, "You're kidding me." I'm like, "But why though?" And they're like, "Because like you suck at this job." And then I'm like, "Fair enough." And then I was sad and went into my office, and then a huge earthquake happened, and we all like went outside, and I was like, "This is actually a sign that I'm supposed to get." I was like, "This is a sign from the universe. I'm supposed to get fired right now." And then I was like, "Well, I guess I can go on unemployment." Holla.
So the assistant boss there like calls Danny Provenzano Jr. and he's like, "Hey, Angelina's being horrible and you need to go like ream her out."
She goes back to she leaves the t-shirt store and she goes, "I'm done. Can't take it anymore." She can't take having to. It's also, I think, 6 p.m.
It's 6 p.m. It's like, I forgot.
They just have to work for 3 hours.
They work 3 hours like every other day. And it's a fun job. And I forgot that it's August. So it's like getting into that like where sometimes it's cold one day. So she has like the hoodie. It's kind of rainy. And she clearly goes to a store on the boardwalk and buys a suitcase, which we find out later. She comes back to the house and she just has like, it's very me. Like
she's a CVS bag full of stuff and goes and she's sitting on the carpet floor while like Sam is like lounging in her bed and Angelina's just sitting there with like her bag of like shit from Walgreens.
She's sitting there like this with her little flats. She's sitting on the ground. She has a bag of Walgreens dangling from her wrist, and she's just going, like, not saying anything. Like, Ron and Sam are just in bed.
They're just like staring at her from the bed. And then Danny, who we called Jeff all last episode.
Jeff?
Yeah. We were like, the boss, Jeff.
Oh, well, at first I thought we were like we were like incorrectly calling him Danny because we were like, oh, he looks like Danny Provenzano.
I think his name is Danny.
It is Danny. So he comes over. He's pissed.
He storms in. He goes, where's Angelina? And Snooki goes, she's upstairs. Like, immediately.
Yeah, they're all ready to get her out. And then
he goes, go get her for me. And she goes, Danny's here to talk to you. And then Angelina does a truly psychotic move where she goes, I won't tell him I'll only talk to him if he comes in the bathroom, which I'm like, that's sexual harassment. You're like going to make him go in a closed tiny space with you because you don't want to have this conversation on camera.
That was truly bone chilling. And then Snooki comes down and she explains what she just requested, and Danny goes, I have to go, what? Okay. So he goes upstairs and he's like, what's the deal?
She walks into the bathroom and she shuts the door and is talking to him from behind the door. He goes, hey, what are you doing? She goes, you have to come in here. And he goes, I'm not coming in there. And she goes, she's fake coughing now. And
She's
he basically is like,
confession.
Mm-hmm.
She's having like a Catholic like takeover.
I love through the door being like, you have to, when you were just on camera.
She's having she's both what you said, like she hasn't gotten the attention, her required attention getting has not been met in like days. So she's like a machine malfunctioning because Angelina runs on attention.
But if it's negative, if there's going to be a negative confrontation and she knows she's at fault, she won't be able to face that head on. But if there's a negative confrontation where she's igniting the negativity and
like with the
pointing
girls,
the finger at someone else, then she's happy to be like front and center.
She can't handle any kind of like
real feedback.
The bathroom door, what a metaphor. Speaking through the door.
I love you have to come in here. No.
She's also like, I think she's also just like, it actually like was a confounding experience to watch again. Cause I was like, what was she?
What's the motivation here?
Cause I was like, is she just being like, I'm on a TV show. I'm being like, but I don't think it was that. I think she's like truly malfunctioning cause she can't get what she wants.
Yeah. I think she's realizing that everyone hates her. No one really likes her in this house. She has essentially cheated on her boyfriend on camera, but now her boyfriend has come and said, which she liked because that's like attention and reinforcement that she's like sexy, but no guys in the house want to fuck her.
We've also she's going to know, everyone knows that she was basically with a married man.
Yeah. So, and now everyone knows that too. And I think it's just too much negativity. And she knows there's no way to like, there's no recourse.
And there's a camera.
And there's a camera. And now she's like kind of backed herself into a hole. And I
literally
think that, yeah. And I think that she kind of thinks that like, she's like, I think there's part of her brain that's like, oh, this worked for Snooki, so maybe this will work for me. I don't think that's like a conscious realization, but I think it's semi-motivated from like her being like, I'm done, I'm so fucking done, like I'm leaving. I also do think that it's motivated by her boyfriend breaking up with her, and she's like, she knows they're only allowed to make one call a day and they have no other way to communicate with these people. So she's like, I have to go get to him because like that actually is where most of my self-worth is wrapped up in like.
Yeah, and I think the thing that she doesn't realize though is that Snooki has star power, and
she doesn't.
So Danny's basically like, you're ridiculous, and if you're not gonna work, you have to get out of the house that I'm letting you stay in.
Yeah, you're fired.
You're fired. And she's like, whatever, Danny.
She goes, fine. And then she like packs up her trash bags and puts them on the street, and she goes, at her confessional, she goes, I'm leaving now, and I have to do what I have to do. Bye.
And she just keeps coughing. I'm like, damn, she has COVID. She's
with the jigs that you don't have to keep the sickness. Like everyone knows you're not sick. I love like even till the very end of her leaving the house, she's like,
Yeah, and everyone's just staring at her, and then she goes, she goes, yo, Nicole, write your number down on this thing. Nicole goes, okay. And she comes by, they're all about to eat dinner. They're all drinking Gatorade, which I was like, oh.
Dark.
And
like a 7 p.m. Gatorade.
And Angelina comes in, she goes, all right, so I'm leaving.
I gotta go, I'm done.
Bye, guys. And they're all like, okay, bye. And she kind of like,
she tries to like
get them to tell her to stay, and no one is giving that to her, which is so embarrassing.
Looking the opposite direction and laughing.
And then she tries to be like, she's like, Mike, you always like.
She's like, you basically being like, you love to like hate me, and he's like, no, I actually fucking hate you.
And she goes, oh look, you got a gray hair, and she kind of like wants him to sort of
flirt. This is like her last ditch effort to like ignite some sort of like flirty, negging energy, and he's like, get out of here.
And then she goes, and then she kind of waits for another moment, and she goes, all right. And they all go, okay, bye. Love you. See you later.
She goes, bye. Love you guys. And Sam goes, she's not a part of the Jersey Shore anymore.
And then she just goes out to her sad little car and her trash bags and her one suitcase that she clearly just went on the boardwalk and bought.
And right before she leaves, she goes, it has nothing to do with my boyfriend. Which means it has everything to do with your boyfriend.
And she goes, I might have just made the biggest mistake of my life. And I'm like, yeah, you did.
You did.
Because you just fucked yourself out of millions of dollars.
But also, thank God. She had to leave in order for this season to really shine and for these people to take off.
And for Dina to come.
I know. Dina, the queen.
Dina is usually when like a new person comes on, I'm like, oh, but
You're
Dina,
like, no, but Dina
was always there.
She was the shining.
She's a meatball. So they're all still eating dinner and drinking. And then
Jenny's like, okay, I have to make things right with Tommy.
So
and
JWoww calls
him.
Yeah.
And she goes, she's like crying when they first get on the phone. And he goes, what's wrong? She goes, I don't want to talk about it. And he's like, okay, but like, tell me what's going on. Is there another guy? And she's like, no. And she goes, from what I heard, I think I made a mistake in the club.
I might have made a mistake in the club. And he goes, like, boyfriend relationship ending mistake? And she's like, maybe. And he goes,
she goes, well, Tommy basically just broke up with me, so that means I'm single now. And then she goes, if I'm single, that's a bad thing.
And she goes, they're going to see my true side, my dirty, filthy side. I was like, oh my God, a mere minute after breaking up with her boyfriend. She wanted to break up with him.
Within 30 seconds of being like,
well.
She goes, if I'm single, that's a bad thing. Hurricane Jenny is about to tear through Seaside Heights.
Then we cut to Snooki skipping down the boardwalk with the darkest person of all time, Ryder.
This is
her BFF and her lower companion.
My vibe post boarding school, coming back to Oklahoma City, knowing no one because everyone in my grade had already graduated and like gone off to college, and I would go out to like not crowded bars and go full Snooki and Ryder, be like raging and like like with like a girlfriend or two, fall off like a bar stool and just like rage. Snooki goes, my girl Ryder's crazy like me.
They're best friends, and I think they have like a little bit of, just from all the times I've seen, they definitely have, there's a loaded underlying thing going between them. I think
like lesbian
a little bit. I think Snooki might be a little bi.
I think she's a little bi, and I think
because she and Dina fully fuck in Italy.
Well, what's crazy is they kind of all fuck at one point.
They do.
Everyone fucks everyone else.
Yeah,
as they should. I would too. Believe me, it wouldn't take many seasons. I'd probably run through like most of the guys in one season, except Ron.
Ugh. Snooki loves nothing she loves more than going to like a weird bar on the boardwalk
filled with just like old men in tank tops.
And just they all stare at her and Ryder, and Snooki does her incredible
dance.
Ryder has she has some moves, but it's Snooki and her are like a true like folie douce.
They make the men folk go crazy.
And then she goes, stay here at the house tonight. Just stay with me. Ryder looks like Taylor Swift.
She does. Snooki goes, we have a fucking hot tub. Let's go back and get in the fucking hot tub. So they head back, and meanwhile, the date from Hades is about to begin.
Well, first, yeah, so Ronnie and Sam goes, want to go like play mini golf? And Ronnie's like, are you serious? And she goes, yeah. I was like, oh.
She goes and starts packing up her little Coach bag to like go head out on this date.
She's wearing like
she's just like so pleased to be like having this romantic night out. And then Mike comes in the room. He's like, oh, so you going like mini golf? She's like, yeah, I'm going mini golfing with Ron. And as she starts, like, she's like moving things from one purse to the next. And at one point she takes out her birth control and like looks at it and then like pats it and puts it in her bag. And I was like, I love that.
Yeah. So they head out and like
this date
boardwalk mini golf is like such a
hell.
It's a vibe. Sometimes it's fun and sometimes it's just
this was like just
straight
mini
hell.
Golfing and it's like just wood shards.
It's bad.
So
Mike meets Ryder and he goes, she wasn't ugly. She was thin and petite, kind of my type. I was like, fuck. God damn it.
Snooki
Mike's
and Ryder.
obsessed with thin. He has an eating disorder.
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Look at his body.
Right.
Snooki and Ryder got in the hot tub and just start making out.
And Snooki goes, me and Ryder make out because it's what the guys like. I was like, oh, babe.
I know, but I'm just glad you're doing it like in a supervised.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really glad that for her sake and for like potential like rapist sake.
No,
it's like if you're gonna get wild, this like how she wants to get wild and put yourself in situations where it's like anything could go wrong at any time. You better have like this was God's plan for her is to like have a camera crew around and like people to truly protect her from herself.
It's like when Black China says cut the cameras, dead ass. She goes, keep the cameras on.
Yeah, because like there's a moment, it reminded me of like Jessica Biel in Rules of Attraction where it's like she's like
the football team runs a train on her.
Yeah, it's
well,
like just like that kind of vibe where
I got the vibe. I was like, they're gonna like gang rape Ryder or something. What?
No, it's like
I had the way they were all like it was a little. I mean, I don't think they would. But
no,
like,
but I think
know.
If you were not in this crowd in this specific situation, and you're like two girls at like a frat house making out around a bunch of like frat boys, it's like something could potentially happen that's like very wrong and bad.
Yeah, because anyway, but I had the same thought.
I love Snooki after she makes out with Ryder, sitting in the corner of the hot tub next to Mike, very self-satisfied, just feeling herself. And she looks at Mike and he's like talking and she just grabs his chin and turns it towards her and just plants a kiss on his right on the mouth.
No, it's like this with her hands.
With her nails too. She was making out as fun. I mean, if one thing leads to another, I'm not going to tell him to get off.
Well, yeah, they fuck a few times.
Yeah. And like he's saying something and then she goes, he's kind of talking shit and then she's about to pour champagne down his throat and she goes, oh, you better fuck my ass right now. Like says something just so raunchy and then everyone laughs and I was like, it truly is
a gift.
It's a gift. It is God's plan.
Yeah.
The universe put her here in this specific time to like fulfill this role, put them all together and got rid of Angelina
and also kept her safe.
Yeah. And kept all of them safe because in the next scene, Pauly almost blows up the entire shore house.
But also Snooki's not that safe as we see in the next episode.
No, I mean, you play with fire, you are going to get burned. Not even God can protect you from a juice head on the loose on the boardwalk.
Yeah, so there's a grill gate.
Stitch asks Pauly to like just turn on the grill. And Paul puts charcoals in a gas grill, turns it on. It lights the whole grill on fire. And there's like a gas canister underneath. I'm like, everyone, they could have all died in a fiery blaze.
I like Mike. Mike is like the only one who can be trusted at the grill.
He's grill master.
Yeah, that was scary. There would have been like a mushroom cloud scene from space.
Truly. Isn't Paul from Rhode Island?
Mm-hmm.
he was carrying haunted Rhode Island energy
He
with him
was.
with that move. That nightclub that like burned down in 1 minute.
Oh, in Providence.
That's what Paul's was bringing to the shore house.
Fuck, I remember being a kid and seeing that on the news. And
Those are the most shunking.
Yeah. JWoww has her hair. They're going out that night. And JWoww has her hair as tall as to the gods.
JWoww, they're going into the club. She goes, I'm single now, which is crazy because no one's even seen what I'm capable of.
She goes, by the end of this night, everyone's going to hate each other.
I'll make everyone hate each other by the end of the night.
I was like, oh my God.
Whoa.
Damn. And I wrote, she means that.
She does.
Sam and Ron are dancing, they're vibing, and then they start flirting with other people.
Yeah, and this is the first time we got a sense of Ronnie's dance moves. He truly is like Pied Piper. He's medieval in his dance moves.
He is. He's dancing plague.
There's something like old. It's like old Italian motherland.
With like a
It's
harpsichord.
bubonic. It's Black Plague dancing. Yeah. It's Venetian St. Mark's Square dancing.
It totally is. Clown dancing away the plague.
It's Edgar Allan Poe era of like dance till you die insanity.
Sam starts flirting with a cop.
Sam sees, she looks over, she's talking to her friend who's a cop, and she says she looks over, sees Ron dancing with another girl, and then immediately turns to the cop and flirts with him and gives him her number.
And then JWoww
gets a glimpse of Miss Sammy Sweetheart slipping her digits to this copper.
She keeps saying the cop. I love that.
She's giving
they're
her number to the cop.
JWoww's
A-cab from the jump.
They're all A-cab.
Yeah, except for Sammy, the sweetest bitch you'll ever meet.
Sammy she's Blue
Lives Matter all the way.
But this is where the first hint of JWoww and Sam's animosity.
And also Ron and Sam's deep dysfunction. This is, mind you, 24 hours into them dating.
So JWoww goes up and she goes, yo, you gotta go get your girl. She's giving her number to a cop. And Ron's like, fuck this. And he just storms out of the club. And JWoww's like, well, I have no choice but to go back for him. Because I think JWoww wants to fuck Ron.
Well, I think that they have like a brotherly, sisterly relation. I think they could fuck if they were drunk enough. But I think it's motivated of just like you ride for each other and like you have like...
I do think
it's an elevated friendship in that way.
I agree with you.
Because I've had that with straight boys like in my life where it's like...
No, I totally get that. I do think that, but I think that that becomes very true, especially with JWoww with all the guys, because they're like her brothers. Mm-hmm. But I think in this first week, they're all like the energy is so unstable and horny. And JWoww's newly single that I think a part of her is like so drunk and like, I'll go fuck Ron.
Yeah, or they're just like commiserating over relationship stuff together. I got it that it was more motivated by like, I just like, he's confided in me and like, I want to make sure my boy's okay. Like you're getting...
I'm a guy's girl in this moment.
Yeah, and you're getting like, it's like they're like trauma bonded over relationship stuff. So she's going to like go see about him.
But I think a lot of the girls in the house like love to be like, the boys all love me.
Yeah, and I think that's why Angelina felt like she had to leave because none of the boys were responding to her positively or being like, we love this girl. So
Sammy's sweetheart gets word. I hear that Ron went home with JWoww. I love how she says JWoww. And she goes, and I've lost it. And you just see her walking down the street holding her arms. And at one point she flips her hair back and she's ready to go.
She's ready to go confront
JWoww.
Yeah, JWoww.
Not Ron.
No.
JWoww. Because it's JWoww's fault.
I love too that you can't just like there's no communication or conversations that can happen between Sammy and Ron.
Well, they don't have phones.
But I mean like you could see him dancing with someone and be like, hey, why are you dancing with that person? Like, is that how we're going to do things? Or like,
no,
I thought we were together. It's like, no, I'm going to double the dysfunction and do something out of spite and escalate this situation until it gets to a point where neither of us can like turn back.
It gets to a place of walking while holding arms.
And it gets to a place of eventually just like throwing a bunk bed down a hall.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Anyway, the third episode... coming in hot.
Coming in hot. Thank God Angelina's gone.
Thank God Miss Ann just this. Was that real?
That was real.
Stay tuned for next week. I'm so happy to be doing this. I just think it's perfect to be doing the dog days of summer.
Mm-hmm. This is true summertime sadness.
It is.
Jersey Shore.
I mean, my family would go. We had a house for a few years at the Jersey Shore, and we would always go in like August, and there was like a sadness there.
I mean, August is the saddest month of the year.
We don't need. Yeah, we've
already said it, and everyone knows it's true.
So stay tuned.
And love and light. Bye.